Hello friends, my name is Sonia, this is Sonia with an I, and today I am bringing you some cozy Christmas suggestions and decorating. It is the most wonderful time of year, and our house, our little cottage here, has really been getting a lot of Christmas cheer. So I wanted to share some of that with you. So in the video coming after this, you'll be seeing some cozy cottage decorating that I have done. And there's a little bit of an example around me. This guy, Santa, does light up, but if I turn his light on, he's so bright that it would blind you in the camera. So I will add some footage of everything lit up and at daytime and nighttime. So I really hope that you enjoy the decorating. Roll it. And here is the beginning of my peppermint tree. As you can see, this is on my fireplace hearth. I don't have a fireplace shelf, a mantle, but I do really enjoy decorating this hearth. And I have a peppermint tree for sentimental reasons. My grandmother, who raised me, always had peppermint candy canes on her Christmas tree. And her 40-something grandkids could come anytime they came to visit and get a peppermint stick off of the tree. So I always called her my peppermint granny. And this tree is very sentimental to me because of that. As you can see, I'm doing a red and white ribbon. I do my ribbon in clusters. It just makes it easier to kind of punch and put into the tree. The tree is a 6-foot pencil tree. It is not pre-lit. The lights that are on it are strung. I'm showing you here my ornaments that are for this tree, and I believe that I am digging out my Santa. I do have a Santa. All of the Santas are felted, and they're felt. Nope, I'm not. I thought I was digging out the Santa. The felted Santas, this one is my Santa. I purchased it myself at Walmart in 1982. I have had that ornament. It has been in the center of every tree that I have ever done for myself. But the ornaments here are all felted Santas and other, there's some reindeer and snowmen as well. I have always loved felted ornaments. It's very vintage. It gives me that cozy vintage Christmas that I just love. They also look fantastic on this red and white tree. As I'm decorating here, I'm just placing the ornaments in and around the tree. Basically just kind of finding a spot and putting them. I don't really decorate with a rhyme or a reason. I just kind of decorate from the spirit. My pants keep falling down too, so that's attractive. But as I'm going around the tree here and decorating, I have a few little mini baubles here and there, as well as that I'm sticking into the tree. The red and white motif goes along with also some artwork that I've made that will go on the mantle in just a bit, and just really gives that traditional, authentic Christmas vibe that I really like. Looking at the tree here, I really wished that I had 2 trees. Oh, I put my glasses on so I can see here. I really do wish that I had 2 pencil trees. The reason for that is, and here's another angle, I'm putting picks in at this time, but I would really love to put a tree on both sides of the mantle place, but I can't find the exact tree, and I don't want them to be at least a little bit different. There's my angel that goes on top. She's from the 1960s. I absolutely love her. She is plastic and just adorable. She reminds me a little bit of Phyllis Diller. She's got that blue eyeliner. I just love her. Anyway, the picks that are on the tree, they're those sparkly candy canes and peppermint discs and swirly gigs. I got those on a Christmas clearance, like after Christmas clearance at Michael's, probably 5 or 6 years ago. All the ornaments, all the felted Santas that are on my tree, I have thrifted, except the one Santa that's from 1982. I always thrift my Christmas ornaments. You can find some of the neatest and coolest things at thrift stores, and I just sort of pick them up as I go. I'm having problems with my britches, y'all. Um, anyway, I'm just kind of putting the picks in sort of willy-nilly, making sure that they're sort of even. It kind of fills out the tree. I would like to have some more of the swirly gig picks. I used to have quite a few, but I make Christmas tree toppers for people, and I've used a lot of those in my Christmas tree toppers. So that's kind of why my tree is lacking in them. I would like to kind of fill that out a little bit more. Here I am pulling my britches up again. And there are, yeah, those are the swirly gigs there in my hand, just trying to even those out. If you want to decorate a Christmas tree and really give it pizzazz, these sparkly picks are a really inexpensive way to do that. I do keep my eyes open for them at thrift stores and such, but I got such a good deal at Michael's on those. I got to use a coupon, and I think it was like 75% off, 50% off or something. So there is the tree. It is all finished. And now I am going to put up this piece of artwork here. This has a story as well. When I worked at the consignment store, someone brought in this broken mirror frame and said, I don't want it. You can have it. Do what you want. I talked to my boss and said, what do you want me to do with it? And she said, we can't sell it. It's a broken mirror. And I said, you know what? I'll take it. I'll do something with it. The frame was hot pink. That wood was hot pink. I painted it white. I took the mirror out, of course, because it was broken, and took vintage Christmas paper, lined the back of that vintage Christmas paper, or the back of the old mirror with vintage Christmas paper. And it has like shiny bright advertisements and old vintage Santas, and then staple gunned red and white Christmas lights around it. I just lit those up, and I'm doing my happy dance because it looks cute. And then I took this Merry Christmas sign that I got at Dollar Tree and glued that on there. And this has been a piece of artwork in my house for several years. So it is all put together there. And now for the blow molds, I'm going to straighten it up because I'm that person. I can't stand it if it's cockeyed or cattywampus. So straightening that up, making that look nice and uniform. And I believe, there we go. Make it, now I didn't even help it. This is really easy to make. If you can find an old frame, favorite Christmas paper, you have a piece of artwork. And it really is, I have a lot of people that will take photos in front of that sign. They want to kind of have a Christmas photo. A lot of my friends like to do that. It does kind of look like a photo op. And I really do love the feel and the nostalgia that it brings to the room. I believe I'm going to be on my way. I must have took a coffee break or something. Hello, Sonia, where are you? I guess I took a coffee break. Now my coffee break's over, and I am bringing in the North Pole sign. I do wish that this lit up, but it doesn't. Dana's offered to fix that, like to drill a hole in it, but I just can't do it. It is a plastic blow mold. And then there is the Santa blow mold that my Aunt Debbie gave me. She's had that since she was a teenager, and I just love it. And he burns bright, so when the lights are off, he is really a light source. It's such a vintage, beautiful feel. I love that big Santa. I'm over here playing with some electricity, I think. Because when you do these things, you end up playing with a lot of electricity and kind of trying to straighten things out. And I'm talking to him because, why not? Why not talk to Santa? I was giving him my wish list. This is my peppermint granny. I love her. I've had her for so many years. She makes me so very happy. If my house caught fire, she'd be one of the first things I would grab. She is just one of my favorite pieces. And here we are, not my best view, but here we are with the Santa. He's lit, and we have the beautiful scene. I'm going to adjust the camera. I'm so happy with it. And here it is. my little peppermint Christmas corner of my mantle. Uh, lovingly done with that vintage cozy feel that I just love. I can't wait to light a fire and enjoy this little scenic area. I love little elves. They're his little, he is, and my favorite quote from The Grinch. It's a good look at the Christmas paper. I really hope that you enjoyed the decorating. Now I'm going to share some things that bring comfort and coziness to my Christmas time. I'm going to share books, of course, also some foods and drinks at Christmas time that I enjoy, activities I enjoy, movies that I enjoy, also some music, maybe a few other little things. So, my first, of course, is books. Christmas Tree Farm takes place in Mistletoe, Maine. The main character and her family own a Christmas tree farm that also has a bed and breakfast. It has a restaurant. It's kind of a Christmas business basically, and the whole farm and the whole community and the whole town is just absolutely precious. This is my favorite Christmas cozy mystery series. I absolutely adore it. Every little adventure is perfect. Cookie is my favorite character, and how can you not love her goat? He's just not that kind of goat. I love the series. It's cute, it's campy, it is like Christmas exploded everywhere, and it's just absolutely darling. If you are looking for a series that is just all in the Christmas feels, I could not suggest this one enough. The other one that I like is the Year-Round Christmas Town series that is by Vicki Delaney. Now, I haven't read this complete series. I just finished book 4. I am planning to finish this series this Christmas season, but this one also, it takes place in Rudolph, New York, and it is a cozy Christmas town year round. And the main character owns a Santa's treasure, or Mrs. Claus's Treasures is the name of her store. It's kind of a handmade Christmas gift shop. And the only thing, her assistant or her worker that works for her name is Jackie, or Jack, yeah, her name is Jackie, and she's something else. But the series is really enjoyable. All the characters are so likable. There's a great community. Her dad is named Noel, and he is the town Santa. Her name is Mary, Merry. She has a sister, I think, whose name is Carol. It's just so darling. It's so cute. Both books, both series are incredible, and just a great read this time of year. The next book that I always tend to read around this time of year is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. It's a classic. It is a beautiful story. It's very cozy. It's not very long. I can usually read it in almost a setting, and it just gives me the holiday feels that I'm looking for in a book. Another book that I like to read and that I used to read to my students is called The Day Santa Fell from Earth, or Fell to Earth. The Day Santa Fell to Earth. It is by Cornelia Funk. Cornelia Funk also wrote the Dragon Elder, I think is the dragon. It's a dragon series. Of course, I'm blanking out because I'm on camera. But it really is a great story. I haven't read it since I have been teaching, and I left teaching in 2017. So it's been 2016 since I've read it. I really need to pick it up and reread it and just kind of refamiliarize myself with the story. But it's very enjoyable. And the last is Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's Tolkien. How could it not be credible? It's a really great, it's very cozy. It is letters. And I believe that he wrote this for his children. So great books, very enjoyable. I am going to be focusing on finishing my Christmas series, which I'm already finished with the Christmas Tree Farm, but I still need to finish the Vicki Delaney, the Year-Round Christmas Town. I've also just recently finished the Jen McKinley Merry Little Murder Plot. I plan to finish a lot of the Christmas books that are in a lot of the cozy series that I read, that I'm up to Christmas. So yes, I suggest these books even if they're rereads. Like I said, I don't usually reread a book, but I definitely do A Christmas Carol. and Letters from Father Christmas, because they're not very, very big. They're very short. Now, I do have a list of books I plan to read for Christmas that I've not yet read, but these are my suggestions of books that I have read. So that's what I would suggest. The next category I have is food and drink. And I'm going to tell you, I look forward to peppermint mocha year round. Peppermint mocha is this girl's pumpkin spice. I love peppermint mocha. I have loved it for years. It is probably my favorite flavor, to be honest, and I just really look forward to it. What I like to do is, we have 9 coffee shops in my very small town. There's only 14,000 people in my town. We have 9 coffee shops. We also have a lot of wineries. People here like to be well caffeinated and inebriated. I don't know, but I like to visit the coffee shops. So one of the things that I really enjoy doing is getting a peppermint mocha from each shop. Not in one day, my goodness, I'd be buzzing forever. But just, from the right before Thanksgiving until Christmas, and just kind of taste test and then rate them from 1 to 10. So I already had Starbucks. Starbucks is always my favorite. Starbucks gets a 10 for the design of their cup, but Starbucks for me is more of a nostalgic drink. As far as it being delicious and flavorful and all of that, I probably would give it 5 or 6, but it definitely just kind of kicks off that flavor, just kind of brings a nostalgia to me. And then I've already had a couple of local ones. I had an 8-star, and I've had 7-star to 8-star for me. I haven't had that 10-star coffee yet, so I'm hoping that will come. Another thing that I really love at Christmas time, and reminds me, it's just a nostalgia thing, is popcorn and hot cocoa. This reminds me of my other mother, Linda. I can remember many Christmases decorating her tree, watching Christmas movies, sitting there with my brother Eric, and us eating popcorn and drinking hot cocoa. And it was nothing fancy. It was, the water and stir and mix Swiss Miss packaged cocoa, and, microwave popcorn or popcorn from the popcorn popper. Nothing fancy, but it really just makes me nostalgic, and I don't know, gives me the good feels. So popcorn, I love popcorn year round, let's be real, but it's just extra special at Christmas time. I can actually remember stringing popcorn when I was really little, and no, I did not grow up on the prairie, but I do remember doing that a few years actually. And if you've ever tried to string popcorn, it is not easy. Cranberries are much easier. I also really love peppermint tea, and my very favorite, of course, is Trader Joe's peppermint green tea. It is absolutely delicious, but I believe it has a little bit of caffeine in it, so it's not something I really drink before bedtime. I also drink Celestial Seasonings peppermint tea, like if I'm before bed. Put a little bit, I have syrups that I flavor my protein coffees with, so I'll put a little peppermint syrup in the tea just to kind of sweeten it a tad, and it just is incredible. I love cookies at Christmas time. I don't know if it's this, Sonia Claus in me, but cookies at Christmas time, I don't ever want to eat cookies except this time of year. And then I want to bake them all from my Betty Crocker cookie book, and I want to eat them all. Cookies are just my jam this time of year, and jam cookies are delicious. And I have a much requested treat that I make for my niece and nephews and for many families, and it's called Christmas crack. And if you aren't familiar with what Christmas crack it is saltine crackers layered on a sheet pan with a homemade caramel sauce, melted chocolate, some sprinkles, and a little bit of sea salt, and you let it harden, and then you just crack it up in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. And my kiddos go nuts for this stuff. Like every year about this time, I start getting text messages about, Aunt Sanja, when you going to make some crack? So I give my niece and nephew crack for Christmas. Anybody that doesn't know what Christmas crack is, they may worry about my sanity a little bit. Some days I do too. Anyway, Christmas crack is delicious. I'll put the recipe in the description box below. So those are some of my food and drinks. Of course, for me, Christmas time is just, when you're gathering with family and you have little nibbles and, like the dips and the chips and the things and whatever. And, there's a reason people gain weight at Christmas time, because the food is delicious. There's always so many wonderful things to try. Now, the next category is activities, and this is probably my favorite category, to be honest. I love doing Christmas things. My Dan and I have 12 days of Christmas because, for kind of my own sanity, and I'll explain that. I get very, very sad on Christmas Day because Christmas is over, and you have all this build up, and then it's just gone. Dan and I started doing about 2020, we started doing the 12 days of Christmas. And I have found that it draws Christmas out and makes it feel like it is an extension and not just one day. So my sadness doesn't hit as hard that that's over, and you know. So here are some of the things. I'm going to start with the free things first. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do these things. Or some of this can be absolutely free. So one of my favorite things that we do is just go look at Christmas lights, and that is gas. But my dad and I, when my dad was part of my life when I was little, would load up the Jeep with some popcorn and hot drink and go and just drive around and look at Christmas lights. And when you're a poor kid, I mean, it's like Disneyland. It's just so neat to see all of the colors and, you know, the flashing lights and the colors and the designs and all of that. And that still is something that I love doing. I look forward to it every year. And Dan and I have gotten to where we not only look in our community, but we've went to some towns that are near us just to go look at the Christmas lights. And very little expense, you know. We do often pop popcorn, or I will go to the movie theater and buy a bag of popcorn and, you know, get a hot drink. I'll make a hot tea, or maybe even if it's not too late, go and get a hot coffee or whatever and go. It's just fun. I love looking at Christmas lights. I don't think that will ever change, and it doesn't really cost anything. We also like to have a bake-off, and this is usually part of our 12 days of Christmas, but the two of us will take my cookie books or some of my Christmas cookie books and create some sort of dessert. And then we vote on which one we think is the best. And it's just fun. Like, he'll make it on his own, I make it on my own, and then we'll get together and collaborate and decide whose treat is the tastiest. I've won the last 2 years, just so you know. I plan on keeping the medal. Another thing is that usually the day after Christmas, like the Friday after Christmas, Dan and I will clean out our pantry and go through. We have a shelf, and then we have a pantry that we keep dry goods and things, and clean out our pantry. And anything that we're not using or going to use, we donate to a local food pantry. My friend Sean does this too. Actually, he's already done it. He does it around, we usually do it around Scouting for Food time that the Boy Scouts do, try to get the bag filled, and then whatever we have in excess, we will take to some of the local food pantries. It's just our way of kind of giving back a little bit. And sometimes if we, you know, we might take a little extra money if we have it, you know, an extra $20, and go buy canned goods or something, and then add them to that, and then give them. We have a lot of little free, I almost said little free libraries, we have those too, but the little blessings pantries, we have several of those in our community, and just go and fill them up the best that we can, because this is a hard time for many people to try to you know, have food on their table, and money tends to be very hard for people right now too. So it's just a way that we feel like that we can give back to our community. We are so blessed, so we really try to bless others as well. We do coloring night, where we'll play Christmas music, bust out the coloring pencils and the coloring books, and sometimes we theme those out. Last year we did a Star Wars theme with it, so we watched the Star Wars Christmas movie, and if you've never seen it and you're a Star Wars person, oh my goodness, watch it. It's awful. It literally is awful. It's on YouTube, but watch it, because it's so awful, it's actually kind of endearing and sweet, if that makes any sense. But I had a Star Wars Christmas coloring book, and they actually had ornaments that you could color, and so we did they looked like gingerbread, but they were actually Chewbacca and R2-D2, and so we colored those. We watched the horrible Star Wars movie. And it was just a fun time. And we already had those things anyway, so it didn't cost us anything. We like to do, we like to kind of check out the local churches and see if they have any services that are Christmas related. Last year we went to a service that was a bell concert, handbell concert, and they had a choir concert as well. It didn't cost anything. You could donate if you wanted to, and it was really enjoyable. It was so enjoyable. It was so beautiful. It was a church that we don't normally go to, and it was just neat to sit there and be a part of the community and listen to people play music. It was lovely. We usually attend a couple of different services of Christmas services. We went to Christmas pageants, or like Christmas plays. We just really enjoy that. The schools always have one too. I went to a Christmas play the year before last that was at a local school. There's all kinds of community events out there if you just kind of tune into your community. And at least in my community, I'm very blessed with that. There's a lot of community involvement. And I think if you look hard enough, maybe you can find one in a community or community near yours, and you can do any of those sort of activities. We like to do puzzles. I have several Christmas puzzles. I kind of collect them throughout the year from thrift stores, and then we do a few of them. I have a few that are Christmas stamps, and Blue Mountain is my favorite puzzle maker, and their Blue Mountain and their stamps. It's so cool. My other mother is a retired postal worker, so anytime I see stamps or postal anything, it just kind of makes me happy. Now, some of these other things I'm going to mention aren't free. A progressive party. I love these. I think this is so fun. Whoever made up progressive parties, fantastic. If you're not sure what a progressive party, it's basically you go to each house of your group of friends, and you have an appetizer at the first house. And it gives you an opportunity to kind of see everybody's Christmas decorations, go to their home, warm it up, hostess gift, whatever. And then you have your appetizer at that home, and then you go to somebody else's home and have your main course. And you see their direct decorations and whatever, and then you go to somebody else's house and you go and you have a dessert. And the same, and then you go to somebody else's house and maybe have an after dinner drink or a cocktail or a coffee or whatever. So you go to multiple people's homes in one night, and you see their decorations, you get to visit with your friends. It keeps things rolling. So sometimes after you eat and you all sit down, you just kind of go but it just kind of keeps the ball rolling. It's really nice. It's so fun, so very enjoyable. I really wish we didn't do one last year. It's been a couple of years. I really wish that our community, or that my group of friends, would want to do more of that sort of thing, because it really is fun. Grinchmas. We do Grinchmas every year. We watch the multiple Grinches, and then I will usually make Grinch kebabs, which you've probably seen online, but it's like grapes, strawberry marshmallow, so it looks like his head. I'll make Grinch kebabs. We'll eat something green. I've made green soup, or I actually made green eggs and ham one time. Just, we'll make something green. I've made Grinch cupcakes before, where, you ice them in green, and I have a little red sprinkles, and you just kind of put those in there for his heart. Some sort of Grinch-ish activity. Make Grinch punch, just like a green whatever. Just celebrate the Grinch, because the Grinch has a big special place in my heart. Dan really likes the Grinch too, so it works well. He could be a little Grinchy when he wants to. So he doesn't get into Christmas like I do, but he loves me, so he'll do 12 days with me. Thriftmas. Dan really enjoys Thriftmas, and I do too. What we do with Thriftmas is we get $5 a piece, and we go to a local thrift store in our town. We have a dollar store, where it's just everything's $1, and we take our $5 and we find 5 gifts to give each other. We wrap them, whatever, and we don't do it on Thriftmas day. We do it before. That's our prep, and then on Thriftmas we exchange our gifts. We don't really do Christmas gifts. Like, we don't spend a lot of money on each other. We really do try to do experiences or things like that, just to, I have stuff. I really don't need stuff. I mean, I of course would love to have some things, but those things are usually pretty pricey and things that we would, save for or whatever. So this one curl is really getting to me. Pardon me. Sorry. I'm distracted by the one uneven curl. Uh, but Thriftmas is a lot of fun. It's cool to see what you can get for cheap and what might show up in the thrift store. A lot of times, the gifts are more gag gifts. Hopefully they don't make anybody really gag, but they're more gag gifts than anything that's really, a treasure. But sometimes we find treasures. I mean, we have one thing that Dan found. It was a Star Wars cutting board, and he paid $1 for it, and we use it all the time. So sometimes you find a treasure. You never know what you're going to find at a thrift store. And last but most certainly not least is we have a community near us that's in sort of our wine country, and they do a candle walk. And so they do like luminaries throughout the town, and I like to go over there, and they do carriage rides and Coco and Santa, and that's always fun. So just talking about things in the community, really try to support the community by doing a lot of those things. So those are the activities I like to do at Christmas time. There are so many more. Of course, I love to decorate and wrap presents and do all of that, but those activities are the ones that really are kind of unique maybe, or might give you spark some ideas. Movies. I love to watch the Bing trilogy, I call it. White Christmas, Holiday Inn, Bells of St. Mary. Those are 3 have-tos at Christmas time for me. I love Bing Crosby. I know that, his past, but when I watch him, I hear that voice, and I think a lot of that's because I used to watch with my granny, and he looks a lot like my Uncle Charlie, so it feels very like I'm home when I hear him sing, when I watch the movies. I adore White Christmas. I know probably every song. I can do the whole Sisters Act. I just love it. I think it's incredible, and it really is not Christmas until I've watched White Christmas. And I usually put White Christmas on the television as I'm decorating my Christmas tree. That's usually what's on, either that or Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which I watch that on repeat. I know Santa's a jerk. I know they're all jerks. They make me so mad. If I was Rudolph and Santa wanted to use me after he told me I wasn't good enough, I'd tell him to go where the sun doesn't shine. So, but Rudolph must be nicer than me. I love all the Christmas carols. Dan and I have a Christmas carol night. We watch as many Christmas carols as we can. That is the Muppets Christmas Carol. That is the Jim Carrey Christmas Carol with the animated. That is the Jean-Luc Picard Christmas Carol. If you know, you know. Okay, love that one. The George C. Scott Christmas Carol, the Mickey Christmas Carol, which I love, was my favorite as a kid. I love Christmas Carol. We definitely do a lot of watching that. I mentioned the Star Wars Christmas movie. It's horrible. It's awful, but I love it. I love The Night Before Christmas. It's the 1971 with the mice and the clock, and Joel Grey does the voice of the narrator. I can't remember if it's fantastic. It's one of my favorites. I also love all of the Rankin Bass Christmas, like, oh my gosh, the Snow Miser. I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. Love it. Love it. And believe me, I perform that whole, I could do that performance. I love that. Now it's in my head. I'm Mr. 10 Below. Anyway, back to where we are. I really enjoy that. A Year Without a Santa Claus. All of those. Fantastic. Love them all. All that 70s Christmas. Love it. Vintage. And last, most certainly not least, one of my favorite modern Christmas movies, Elf. I cry every time. When they come out of Times Square and the music starts and Santa and Elf and Buddy are up in the ball like a baby. And I love that movie. I love that. That movie to me is genius. and I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan, but that movie just does it for me. So, music. I love Bing Crosby holiday radio on Pandora. It's probably what I listen to the most. But I do love, I like, there's several alternative, not alternative, I'm sorry, there's several folk and indie artists that have Christmas albums that I love, like She and Him, and of course I can't think of any of these. Mindy Gladhill, um, Surf John Stevens. They all have fantastic Christmas albums that I love. I love Sarah McLachlan's Christmas album. I love Kristen Chenoweth's Christmas album. I love Dolly and Kenny, of course I do. There's so many different Christmas albums. You can just kind of go through the generations of my life, and everything from like the Carpenters, John Denver Christmas. Oh, I love John Denver Christmas. To Dolly and Kenny, that all of that. I love it all. I really do. I love Christmas music, and our local radio station started playing Christmas music about 2 weeks ago, and today's the day before Thanksgiving. So, they've yes, please play all the Christmas music. I love it. I can't really think of any type of music that I don't like that's Christmas, honestly. There's a couple of songs I don't care for. I don't like the hippopotamus song, and I want to talk about this. All right? Let's get real here. I don't like the hippopotamus song. It gets on my nerves. And when I was teaching, my best friend was the school counselor, and she would pipe in, I want a hippopotamus for Christmas, randomly throughout my classroom from like November 1st until January 1st, because she knew that I can't stand that song. Yeah, my friends are jerks. I also don't like Dominic the Donkey. Those two songs, and I love animals, not anything against animals. I think hippopotamuses are darling, and I love me some donkeys. But those two songs get up on my nerves, and I don't want to hear them at Christmas time. So there's my complaint. That's what I have there. Now, if you love the hippopotamus song, that's wonderful, but it is not for me. The Christmas songs that I love the most are usually the Christmas songs from the 50s, the 40s, 50s, 60s. Like I said, Bing Crosby, Dean Martin. I love Dean Martin Christmas. I love to listen to him sing Marshmallow World. I have found some Motown Christmas that I really enjoy. There is one, and I can't think of it, the Mills Brothers. That's not Motown, but Mills Brothers. This Christmas Song for You, I think, is the name of the song. It's older. It's like from the 40s. Delightful. Anyway, I could talk Christmas music all night. Love it so much. But I love to listen to Christmas music. So those are all of my cozy Christmas suggestions that I plan to do. That's going to be part of my Christmas. And, I hope that maybe you heard something new or got sparked an idea, or you thought, hey, I'm going to try that, or any of those things. I also hope that the holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas or any other holiday, I hope it is an absolute blessing for you. This channel has been the most wonderful gift to me, and this community has just embraced my heart, and I am so thankful for all of you. I greatly appreciate you being here and supporting me in this YouTube channel. Today I hit, actually I noticed last week, but I saw today I hit 700 subscribers, and that just, wow. Absolutely wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. I wanted to start a channel for so long and put it off because I didn't think people would want to listen to an older chubby gal talk about books, and here we are, and thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So I hope you enjoy this Christmas content. I plan to release some more Christmas content. I am going to talk about books I want to read for Christmas in another video. So I have a feeling this one is getting a little long. So thank you very much. Like and subscribe. I'm having the best time here. When you like my videos, it gets out to other people who may like my videos. I appreciate that. You make the world a better place just by being a part of it. And until next time, I'll see ya. Happy reading. Until next time, happy reading. Goodbye now.